now that we've got the trees for the new driveway turnout cut down and laying in the way of the driveway turnout, it's time to get them cleaned up and bucked up. This is something that was my dad had come out to visit and spend some time and wanted to help do some clean up and work on the property with us, or not clean up specifically, but wanted to help work on the property. So I figured this would be a fun way to spend some time doing that. So as you can see, he was running the backhoe and was able to get it down pretty quick after a quick lesson and some pointers here and there. But then that freed me up to just be out there and run the chainsaw, which speeds things up a lot if I don't have to get in and out of the on and off the backhoe. So that's what we're doing, and I don't really have any rhyme or reason as to how long. Most of these boards are, logs are in the 6-inch to, I think the biggest one was 20 inches. So they're not going to be huge boards when they're all said and done and cleaned up, but there will be enough that we'll be able to get some decent, like 1x material out of most of them. And I think a lot of these are going to be cabinets and flooring or walls. I'm not, shall we say, I'm not a picky. I'm not picky when it comes to what the actual grain looks like. I know there's a lot of people who, for flooring, they want specific grain types, and it has to be corner sawed, or it has to be, cathedral grains, whatever, and it all has to match. I just like the look of wood, and I kind of feel like seeing that it's natural actually provides a bit of a benefit. So, like I said, most of this will get milled up into small, like 1-inch by 3 to 6-inch boards, and then I will stack them and let them all dry, and then we'll eventually build a kiln of some form so that I can get everything dried, or maybe I can find a... Oh, I got stuck here. That was a little bit challenging to get that unstuck. Luckily, it was attached to a backhoe, so it was easy to manipulate that up and down and around. But that's what I get for not paying enough attention to the tension and compression. But anyway, so as I was saying, a lot of these will get bucked up into pieces for flooring. There's like this section where there's a big giant bend in it. I don't know what I'll do with that. That bend will probably just be firewood, although maybe I'll lay it on its side and think of something fun, artistic to do with it, encase it in some epoxy or something. Who knows? But for the most part, these are all super straight trees. That little bend there was kind of one of the exceptions. So we spent a fair amount of time out here. I think we spent a total of 2 days working a good chunk of the day on cleaning up this area. It did start to rain, so we ended up doing other stuff for part of that time. Luckily, it was just a Washington rain, so just kind of heavy mist type drizzle kind of stuff. But it was good to have my dad out here. It was actually really good too to see the progress. He came out here the first summer. Actually, he came out and helped move me out here. He drove one of the truck and trailers, when we brought our last load of stuff in July of 2020, and he came out with my sister and her family in July of 2021, and then I was able to come out this summer slash fall-ish. So that was pretty cool, and being able to show him the progress and let him see all the different things that we've got going on, and that was a lot of fun. The only thing I wish we could have changed was that I wish we had a better place to let him crash, but as you saw that in a previous video, we did our best to make sure he was as comfortable as possible. And like I said, as you can see, he's gotten pretty decent at doing that, and then we just move the tractor and pick a new spot and keep going. This will be a pretty good chunk of my time for the next several years, clearing up this forest. These, I know I've mentioned it before, but the emerald ash borer is just a crappy problem. There's really, really pretty wood. The grain is just nice and tight. It's a pale, very pale wood with a lot of sap color, the sapwood is very pale, almost completely white. And then when they get big enough, they start to develop some nice, rich, I don't know exactly what color to call that. It's a nice pale brown, and then they can sometimes even get even prettier, like the boards that one of these pieces of logs I cut up into some different sizes and took it to a fellow sawyer. He's interested in trading some of the ash here for some of the cedar and Doug fir that he's got on his property, and so I wanted to show him, what he would actually be getting, and I just picked one at random that was manageable so that I'd be able to, move it around and whatnot. And it turned out that it actually had some really pretty grain in it, so that was pretty cool. He was excited about that once he got them stickered and out of the way. And this guy here, this is one of the two, I think this is the second biggest of all of the trees. And I actually think that might be the log that I'd cut up for him. I don't know. But we spent some time doing that, and then the next challenge was the hard part, which was to come back through, and as you can see, I've already got a fair amount of them. I actually forgot to set the camera up and turn it on, so I didn't get the beginning of it, but then from here it was just a matter of picking everything up and rolling things around, and it always is definitely a benefit to have a second person. Like most people, I used to wonder why construction workers always have several people standing around and one or two people working, and Some of that's because you get into the heavy equipment and you just don't always know exactly what you're doing down there. It's kind of weird, but it's actually surprising how far away things are, and then like where they end up. It surprises me. I'll be on the backhoe. There's Emily coming home from work. Um, but I'll be digging, and it just looks normal to me as I'm working on the backhoe. And then I get off the backhoe and step down, and I'm always surprised at how deep a hole actually is, or how wide it actually is, or something. And it just seems wider and deeper and bigger once you actually get off the tractor. So here we're just trying to clean things up a little bit more. Trying to sort things as we go into things that might end up as log furniture versus things that are going to end up as firewood versus things that are actually going to be milled. And so you can see this is my pile that's potentially log furniture and or firewood. And then there was a couple there that I wanted over here on my milling pile. And there we go. So now that everything's all cleaned up there, the next step was to go dig out those stumps, which I'm sure glad they're not oak, because oak stumps, their roots just go everywhere, and they're such a pain to dig out. And even a little, 10-inch stump is big enough that I will never try digging one out again on this tractor, which is super annoying because this stump that's from the tree right there is one that I'm not even going to be able to get to it on this little tractor. So I'll dig around it and I'll kind of level everything around it as best I can, and then we're going to spend some time and we'll rent an excavator, or maybe we'll be lucky and we'll have bought one by then, but I kind of feel like we'll probably end up renting one. So as you can tell, I obviously forgot to turn the camera off. I have apparently, bigger things on my mind. But Emily came home and made us some amazing BLT salad for lunch, and so we took some time to relax and spend a few minutes just enjoying the sunshine. Especially now in the fall, that's kind of a rare thing. For instance, today it is the 13th of October, Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th. That's one of the downsides of being out here. We have one of my best friends in Utah. We would always celebrate Friday the 13th by throwing on a suspenseful or scary movie or whatever. Have, pizza and popcorn or something. It was just an excuse for us to have a little party. Someday I'll be able to host those parties again. Don't know what we'll watch tonight, but that's how the evening will go. But anyway, as I was saying, it's kind of the anticipation that it's going to rain. I've got the equipment trailer that we're working on. That's my main focus at the moment. Trying to get that, get some of all the rust and dirt off of it so I can get it cleaned up. And then I've been reading about what to use for deck boards, and apparently a lot of people use cottonwood for that because it has just enough give that it doesn't break. So I think we're going to try that because I have access to free cottonwood. So here in the next little bit we'll have to go fell a new tree because all the cottonwood board or logs that I have are 12 feet or less, and we're going to try and get away with solid boards. So we'll cut that down and we'll redeck my friend's 20-foot equipment trailer at the same time we do our 16-foot. So we'll see how that goes, but that'll be it for now. So as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. God bless, and enjoy the time you have with your family. Today's actually the 5-year anniversary of my mom's passing, so it's actually really nice, refreshing to have some footage to work on where I was able to spend some time with my dad. So enjoy that time while you have it, and take care of your loved ones.